think you know Lego. Really think about it. For most of us, it's, those colorful bricks, maybe a cool castle set, or perhaps a meticulously built Star Wars X-Wing. But what if I told you that behind those familiar, tangible sets lies something, well, far grander, a sprawling, interconnected universe. We're talking a 100,000-year history, ancient alien interventions, cosmic cataclysms that literally reshape planets, and deep philosophical meta-narratives that tie it all together. Today, we're embarking on a true deep dive into the Lego multiverse. Ready to reveal that Lego's original intellectual properties, they don't just exist in isolation. No, they're part of a rich, evolving tapestry of interconnected worlds. It's really an adventure in discovery, and honestly, it's far more intricate than most people probably realize.
And that's precisely our mission today. Not just a casual stroll through nostalgic toy aisles, but more like a scholarly expedition into what we can genuinely call an evolving narrative architecture. We're going to map out this complex chronological journey, give you a completely fresh appreciation for the depth and ambition of Lego storytelling. Think of this deep dive as your personal shortcut, a way to get truly well-informed about a pop culture phenomenon that has kind of quietly built one of the most expansive fictional universes in modern history.
That sounds absolutely incredible. So how is this massive Lego multiverse actually structured? Because it's clearly not just a simple linear timeline, right? It seems, like you said, built in distinct layers, almost like exploring different geological strata of storytelling. Can you walk us through those?
Absolutely. Yeah, layers is a good way to think about it. At the deepest level, you encounter what we might call the deep self-contained sagas. These are the foundational histories. Things like the Epic of Bionicle, with its own really intricate creation myths and universe-shaping conflicts. Huge stories. Then, moving upward, or maybe alongside, there's this fascinating constellation of seemingly independent themes, like alien conquest and monster fighters. Themes that, as we'll reveal today, are actually secretly interconnected through subtle clues and shared lore, which is pretty cool. Sitting as the, let's say, central narrative pillar for the modern era, we definitely have Ninjago. A lot of the contemporary story actively pivots around Ninjago now. And then finally, overarching everything, you have the meta-narratives. Things like the Lego movie and the video game Lego Dimensions. These provide the ultimate unifying framework, explaining the very why and how of the multiverse itself.
Wow. Okay, that already sounds like a lot to keep track of. I can only imagine the challenge of compiling such a history. Does Lego itself have, a clear system for all this lore? Is it all written down somewhere?
That's a critical question. And it really highlights the inherent challenge in even attempting to map this universe. Lego operates with what you could call a fluid and hierarchical system of canonicity. It's not always straightforward. Unlike some franchises with maybe one clear overarching narrative authority, Lego's lore is often built from kind of disparate media forms, sets, films, comics, books, games, you name it. Take Bionicle, for example. Its lead writer, Greg Farshtey, he actually established clear tiers of canonicity, a formal hierarchy of what counts as official lore. The physical Lego sets themselves. They hold the highest authority on visual details. Then come the films, then published novels, web serials, comics, all in a specific order of importance. Similarly, the Ninjago universe, well, that's the subject of extensive fan scholarship and even ongoing debates, frankly, over what's truly canonical between its various novels, short films, and the primary television series.
Right, so it's not just static lore handed down from on high. It's more like a living, breathing narrative that evolves. How does that constant interplay between the creators and the fans actually influence the story's direction? Does it ever lead to, surprising twists even for the creators?
That's precisely it. Yeah. For you, the listener, this complexity reveals something quite unique about Lego lore. This is a living, breathing thing that fans and creators are sort of collaboratively building and documenting together. The community plays a really vital role in identifying connections, organizing timelines, sometimes even inspiring future narrative choices. This dynamic, it makes its discovery and our journey through it today even more intriguing and rewarding, I think. It's a truly shared narrative space.
That makes perfect sense. And it certainly hasn't always been this way, has it? This entire Lego multiverse we're exploring today is actually the result of what you could call a dynamic corporate learning process, couldn't you? Where the Lego group itself has kind of evolved its approach to narrative over decades. It didn't just appear fully formed overnight. How did that progression unfold?
Well, it's fascinating to trace that evolution. It really started arguably with Bionicle back in 2001. That was Lego's initial big foray into a singular epic saga, a vast, self-contained story, but ultimately finite. It had a clear beginning, middle, and end. Then, a decade later, in 2011, Ninjago arrived on the scene. And Ninjago demonstrated the incredible power of a more flexible, ongoing narrative structure.
Yeah.
It proved it could reinvent itself season after season, keep audiences engaged for well over a decade, adapt to new formats, new storytelling demands. It was just incredibly adaptable.
Okay, so Bionicle was the grand, sprawling epic with a definite end, and Ninjago was the ever-evolving, adaptable story. What came in between or alongside these two giants?
Well, in between, and often running concurrently, you had what we sometimes call the Big Bang themes. Themes like Legends of Chema or Nexo Knights. These were really ambitious attempts to try and replicate Ninjago's success, launching entirely new, large-scale universes from scratch, complete with their own extensive media tie-ins. But, they often met with mixed results. It showed just how difficult it is to sustain such ambitious new intellectual properties for the long term. Launching something big like that is hard. And all this time, sort of bubbling under the surface, LEGO designers were subtly weaving what we now recognize as the connected universe. This subtextual network of subtle clues, recurring characters, thematic connections, all embedded across various themes, quietly appreciated mostly by dedicated fans who loved piecing together these hidden threads like a puzzle.
So for us listening, what's truly impressive here is realizing the sheer intentionality behind the LEGO multiverse. This isn't just a series of happy accidents, right? It's more like a testament to long-term vision, strategic planning, and a genuine corporate learning process that has culminated in something quite extraordinary.
Precisely. Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this whole progression reveals a profound strategic shift for the LEGO group. They moved away from continually launching separate competing worlds, these big silos, towards a deliberate focus on creating a truly unified LEGO lore. And the recent Merge event, which we'll definitely discuss in detail when we get to Ninjago, Dragons Rising, that is the strategic culmination of all these lessons learned. It's not just a plot point in a show, it's a strategic realignment of the entire LEGO narrative universe. It consolidates lore around its most successful brand, Ninjago, and retroactively integrates past themes, which leverages an established beloved brand to create a cohesive and honestly, truly synergistic universe.
That's a huge aha moment right there. For anyone who just thought these lines were separate stories, it really is a reflection of long-term vision and planning that's gone into its creation. Okay, and now let's step even further back, way back, to what many consider the true genesis of this grand narrative. Can you set the scene for Bionicle, this foundational saga that, well, it predates pretty much everything else we've talked about so far? Why does it hold such primordial importance?
Right, we're starting at the very beginning of the LEGO Multiverse's documented history with Bionicle. It captivated fans from 2001 right through to 2010. This is the foundational primordial history. It's an epic with a truly cosmic scale and creation mythos that spans, as you mentioned, over 100,000 years. It's genuinely an epic on a scale that few intellectual properties, let alone toy lines, ever even attempt. This deep history provides the primordial soup, if you will, for everything that follows in the LEGO universe.
100,000-year history for a toy line. That's just mind-boggling, seriously. So where does this sprawling saga even begin?
Our story opens way, way back, on the planet Spherus Magna, a world that Matoran legend would later remember simply as paradise. Lush, idyllic, a vibrant landscape teeming with life. Now, this wasn't a world ruled by gods in the traditional sense. It was ruled by the great beings. These were super-intelligent scientist kings from the native Glatorian species. Geniuses. They used their vast knowledge to improve life for the planet's inhabitants, the Agori and the Glatorian tribes. They even created 6 powerful element lords to handle the day-to-day administration of the planet. This freed up the great beings to focus on their really ambitious scientific inventions.
It's fascinating how it blends science and myth right from the start. So these gods are actually scientists whose ambition led to cataclysm. That sounds like a really powerful narrative premise.
It is. And it's a critical point early on. It kind of raises that important question, doesn't it? What happens when scientific ambition outstrips ethical foresight, even in a fictional universe? Their desire for knowledge and progress ultimately led to a truly devastating cataclysm, proving that even in paradise, unchecked innovation can have profound, destructive consequences.
And devastation it was. This piece was shattered by the discovery of something called energized protodermis, right? A powerful, highly unstable, silvery liquid found deep within the planet's core. This substance sparked the devastating core war between the element lords and their tribes, all battling for control of this new volatile resource. The great beings by then realized with horror that draining it would actually destroy the planet. The war culminated in the Shattering, a massive explosion that quite literally tore Spherus Magna apart. It flung 2 large fragments into orbit. These 3 shattered bodies became the desert world of Bar Magna, the ocean moon of Aqua Magna, and the jungle moon of Boda Magna.
Exactly. And this isn't just backstory, you see. It's a genuine creation myth and a cosmic disaster that literally shaped the universe for this saga. It defined the physical landscape. It gives incredible weight to the setting, setting the stage for everything that follows. It matters.
So, faced with this planet-shattering catastrophe, the great beings undertook their most ambitious project yet to solve the crisis. This was the creation of the Great Spirit Robot, a colossal, 40 million foot tall biomechanical being, housing the consciousness of an entity named Mata Nui, and its grand purpose was to travel the cosmos, observe other worlds and cultures, and ultimately learn the secret to healing the fractured Spherus Magna.
Yeah, what's fascinating here is just the sheer scale, a mobile planet, essentially, housing an entire civilization inside it. But equally profound is that underlying philosophical twist you mentioned. The inhabitants, the Matoran, they were initially designed as just mindless nanites for maintenance living inside this giant shell. That was their function. But one of the great beings, named Velika, secretly granted them sapience true consciousness, transforming them from mere workers into a true civilization with thoughts, feelings, purpose, beyond their original programming.
So this massive vessel wasn't just a ship, it was a hidden, sentient civilization on a cosmic journey.
Oh.
And this artificial world inside, called the Matoran universe, was incredibly complex too, with its own internal geography. Can you describe that a bit?
Absolutely. It had its own distinct geography. Major locations corresponded to parts of the robot's body. For instance, the sprawling city of Metru-Nuvi that was located in the brain served as the primary hub of Matoran culture and industry. The core of the universe, Cardanugi, that was situated in the heart, functioning as its vital power source. Truly was a universe within a universe, meticulously designed right down to last detail.
Okay, now imagine a civilization living inside a giant robot, completely unaware of their true nature or purpose for millennia. This is the long sleep of the Matoran universe. For over 100,000 years, the Great Spirit Robot traveled the stars, its internal population completely oblivious. This long voyage was punctuated by meticulously chronicled historical events. Really deep lore. The journey began around 100,000 years ago with the launch of the Great Spirit Robot, the population of the Matoran universe, and the founding of Metru-Nui. Then, roughly 80,000 years ago, the League of Six Kingdoms rebels against Mata Nui's authority. They get crushed by the newly formed Brotherhood of Makuta, an organization created to maintain order. Then, about 79,500 years ago, a devastating Matoran civil war, known as the Great Disruption, erupts in Metru-Nui, eventually quelled by that same Brotherhood. Fast forward quite a bit to about 3,000 years ago, and you have the Toa Dark Hunter War, a big clash between heroes and this vast organization of mercenaries.
Right. And this isn't just a simple timeline jotted down. It's a saga. Betrayals, civil wars, cosmic slumber. It mirrors epic myths from our own world, in a way. The astonishing detail, it provides a deep historical weight to every subsequent event. It prepares the universe for its next great conflict. It establishes this sense of a truly ancient and intricate history, which is crucial for the scale of the story.
And then, the critical moment, the one that really sets the main Bionicle narrative in motion. 1,001 years ago, the Great Cataclysm occurs. Makuta Teridax, the leader of the Brotherhood, betrays his creator, Mata Nui, infects the Great Spirit with a virus, plunging the massive robot into a deep coma. The robot then crash lands on Aqua Magna, one of those moons created by the Shattering. Its camouflage system malfunctions, creating a lush tropical island, also named Mata Nui, over its face, basically to hide it from the outside world, and the Matoran of Metru-Nui. They're placed into stasis pods and transported to this new island, awaiting a time of reawakening. This period truly reveals the hidden, deep past, setting up the entire Bionicle narrative as a massive, generations-long recovery effort. It shows how that peaceful sleep became a long, dangerous coma. Okay, so the main narrative of the Bionicle saga, the story most people know from the sets and movies, unfolds over the critical final years of the Great Spirit slumber and its immediate aftermath. It's a period of really intense conflict and discovery, running from 2001 to 2010 in our time. It all starts with the arrival of the Toa between 2001 and 2003. Can you tell us about these initial heroes?
Yes, exactly. 6 canisters wash ashore on the island of Mata Nui. They contain the Toa Mata. Heroes destined to awaken the Great Spirit, but crucially, they have no memory of their past. Amnesia. They have to unite these scattered Matoran villages, battle-corrupted Rahi beasts, and relentless Borok swarms, all unleashed by Teridax. Their journey eventually leads to the emergence of Tekanuva, the Toe of Light. He manages to temporarily weaken or push back Teridax. This allows the Matoran to finally return to the ruined city of Metru Nui below the island. This early phase, it really establishes the classic hero's journey, but with that unique biomechanical twist. It immediately immerses the audience in this world that is both alien and somehow deeply resonant with archetypal storytelling.
Right. So after that initial victory, the story takes a fascinating detour, doesn't it? It flashes back 1,000 years to the Metru Nui prequel era in 2004-2005. Why was it important to tell that part of the story then?
It was pretty crucial, actually, to provide context for the current state of Metru Nui when the Matoran returned. This prequel story details the events leading up to the Great Cataclysm. It follows the adventures of the Toa Metru, who, interestingly, would later become the Matoran's wise Turaga elders. We see them fighting to save the Matoran population from Teridax's early schemes and the invading Vizorak horde, this army of spider-like creatures, before ultimately orchestrating the Matoran's escape to the island of Mata Nui and putting them into those stasis pods. It filled in significant historical gaps, explaining how they got there.
Okay, makes sense. So jumping back to the present day in the story, the quest for the Mask of Life takes place from 2006 to 2008. The Toa Nuva, the upgraded to Amata, learn that Mata Nui isn't merely sleeping, he's actively dying. So they embark on this quest for the legendary Kanohi Agnika, the Mask of Life. What kind of challenges did this quest entail? It sounds pretty major.
Well, it was huge. This led to the multi-year Ignition trilogy. A new team of heroes, the To'Inika, had to battle the treacherous Paraka warlords on the island of Voyanui to find it. Then the mask was lost to the depths of Aqua Magna's ocean. This transformed the To'Inika into the water-breathing To'Amari. They then had to battle the mutated Baraki warlords in the undersea city of Mari Nui. The depth of this continuous narrative, where even the Mask of Life acts as this powerful MacGuffin, that classic plot device driving things forward, changing hands, shaping new heroes. It really shows the commitment to an evolving high-stakes saga. And To'Amari Matora's sacrifice, in particular, where he used the mask's power to revive the Great Spirit's life force, but died in the process. That's a really powerful moment of selflessness in the story. Finally, the Toa Nuva journey to Karda Nui, the very heart and power source of the Great Spirit robot, for the final battle to fully reawaken Mata Nui.
And finally, we come to the Reformation of Spherus Magna in 2009-2010, which provides a truly epic conclusion. The Toa Nuva succeed in awakening Mata Nui, but in a shocking twist. Teridax's spirit, which had been secretly infiltrating the robot systems for ages, takes control of the massive body at the exact moment of its reawakening. He casts Mata Nui's now powerless spirit out into the cosmos, trapped within the Mask of Life itself, and this mass then crash lands on the desert world of Bara Magna. What happens next? That sounds like game over.
It almost was. But there, on Bara Magna, Mata Nui manages to create a new, smaller body for himself. He unites the warring Glatorian and Agori tribes who live there. He discovers a prototype robot left behind by the great beings eons ago, and uses it to challenge the Teridax-controlled Great Spirit robot in a final, cataclysmic battle across the desert planet. Mata Nui is victorious. And in his final act, he unleashes the power stored within the Mask of Life to draw Aqua Magna and Boda Magna, those orbiting moons, back down from orbit, literally pulling them back together to reform the planet of Spherus Magna. Uniting all its peoples, Agori, Glatorian, and the former inhabitants of the Matoran universe on its new, healed surface. This twist, with Teridax taking control. It's a classic narrative move, sure, but its implications for the entire universe are profound. It transforms a victory into a completely new beginning, a literal recreation of a planet. This is not just a toy story, it's an epic on a truly grand cosmological scale. It shows how a story can resolve a century-long conflict by literally putting a planet back together.
What an incredible resolution. A 100,000-year conflict culminating in a planet being literally pieced back together. That truly showcases the power and ambition of this foundational saga. And, if you think that's complicated, the mere existence of something called the definitive Bionicle G1 canon reading order, with dozens and dozens of entries across books, comics, web serials, films, it just highlights the incredible depth and the fan dedication to this saga's lore.
Indeed, yeah, this extensive fan and official scholarship, it demonstrates that collaborative narrative ecosystem that LEGO fostered, where the community plays such a vital role in documenting and organizing the lore for a truly engaged audience. It's really a testament to the richness and the enduring legacy of the world they built with Bionicle.
Okay, so if Bionicle was the grand cosmic epic, this next part we're looking at is more like a secret history of Earth, right? Quietly woven through themes you might have thought were totally unrelated. Let's unpack this connected universe and how it stitches together seemingly disparate Lego lines.
Right. This specific thread is arguably one of the most intriguing aspects of the LEGO multiverse, because it demonstrates this subtle, long-term narrative strategy from the creators. They were hinting at connections without explicitly shouting about them until much later. It's kind of like finding a hidden archaeological site that completely rewrites what you thought you knew about the history of that area.
Exactly. And the timeline of this connected universe, it begins not really with humanity, but with extraterrestrial influence, doesn't it? In the Lego Pharaoh's Quest theme, set around 1924, you have explorer Jake Raines uncovering the tomb of Set-Ra. Standard adventure stuff. But then supplemental comics reveal a deeper history. The Pharaoh had actually formed an alliance with an alien leader named Hypaxis 8. And this alien provided advanced technology for constructing the pyramids and 5 mystical treasures. Then, this same alien race, led by Hypaxis 8, is also credited with the sinking of the legendary city of Atlantis. In the Atlantis theme, which is set in the 2010s, you follow a modern-day expedition led by Samantha Rhodes. Her story is directly linked back to her grandfather, Artemis Rhodes, who discovered a map to the sunken city back in 1919. And the connection between these themes, it's made it totally explicit by including the character Brains from the Power Miners theme as a minifigure in an Atlantis set. It confirms they all share a single continuity.
Yet this weaving of a single alien antagonist, Hypaxis 8, through seemingly disparate themes like, ancient Egyptian mythology and the legend of Atlantis, it provides a really unique through line for Earth's secret history. It transforms what might appear to be just separate adventure lines into chapters of a larger hidden narrative, a narrative of extraterrestrial intervention in human civilization over centuries.
This layering suggests a fascinating foresight from the Lego designers, doesn't it? They weren't just creating individual toy lines. They were subtly seeding connections, building a deeper narrative that fans could eventually uncover, almost like an intricate network of Easter eggs that slowly piece together a grander story. That's a truly brilliant approach to world building, I think. Now, a pivotal event in this timeline, something that really kicks off a chain reaction, is the conflict depicted in the Monster Fighters theme. Dr. Rodney Rathbone and his team of monster hunters, they thwart Lord Vampyre's plan to use 6 mystical moonstones to create an eternal night, a classic monster story. But what were the cosmic consequences of this seemingly localized battle?
Right, this is a fantastic example of a singular event having these huge cosmic ripples. The seemingly contained battle creating a universal beacon, essentially. The immense spiritual and cosmic energy released by these moonstones, it acts as a powerful signal across space, and it draws the attention of 2 distinct alien forces. The returning fleet of Hypaxis 8, who's now eager for revenge, and a ravenous species of insectoids, sensing a new potential feeding ground or source of power. It's basically the butterfly effect on a multiversal scale, showing how actions on Earth can attract forces from across the cosmos, fundamentally altering the trajectory of that universe.
So even a simple monster hunt can have huge, unforeseen consequences in a deeply connected world. That's a powerful idea for storytelling.
Absolutely. And the consequences of the Monster Fighters battle. They then unfold dramatically across space and time. First, in the Alien Conquest theme, responding directly to that moonstone signal, Hypaxis 8 launches a full-scale invasion of Earth. But they're met and successfully repelled by the newly formed Alien Defense Unit, or ADU. Humanity fights back. Then, in the Dino theme, as a final desperate gambit, the retreating Hypaxis 8 opens temporal portals, unleashing prehistoric dinosaurs into the modern world. Crazy. And the inclusion of a character named Josh Thunder, it suggests a familial link back to Johnny Thunder, the hero of the earlier Adventurers theme, creating this nice lineage of heroic explorers. And finally, in Galaxy Squad, which is set in the far future, the second alien race drawn by the Moonstones, the Insectoids, begins a devastating invasion of the Selva Galaxy. To combat this threat, the elite Galaxy Squad is formed, featuring the highly decorated hero Solomon Blaze.
Wow. So one battle with the Vampire Lord literally kicked off a series of alien invasions and dinosaur outbreaks that span millennia and galaxies. That's quite the chain reaction across continuity. What an elegantly crafted progression of events.
It is indeed a beautifully crafted progression. It shows a clear, linear development of humanity's engagement with cosmic threats over a vast timeline. It's really a testament to the long-term narrative planning. You know, to have a single event trigger such wide-ranging consequences across multiple, seemingly unrelated themes.
And this whole Earth-centric history, it culminates in the distant future with the Ultra Agents theme, right? Years after the Insectoid War, an aged and revered Solomon Blaze, that hero from Galaxy Squad, he founds the Ultra Agents, a clandestine organization equipped with super advanced technology. What's their mission?
Right, so this team, the Ultra Agents, they protect the world from a new generation of more terrestrial supervillains, people like the data-stealing antimatter. It brings this Earth-centric history to its technological apex. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this whole sequence of themes, Pharaoh's Quest, Atlantis, Monster Fighters, Alien Conquest, Dino, Galaxy Squad, Ultra Agents, it provides a unique narrative thread within the broader LEGO multiverse. Unlike the high fantasy realms or the cosmic sagas like Bionicle, it offers a relatively grounded, Earth-centric history, rooted in pulp adventure and science fiction tropes. It provides a familiar anchor, maybe, for the more fantastical elements of the wider multiverse. It's an accessible entry point that fans can easily connect with, I think.
It really highlights LEGO's versatility in storytelling, too, offering that recognizable human-centric progression from ancient history to a plausible future, even within this fantastical multiverse. It's a fantastic example of how diverse the LEGO universe truly is.
Okay, now we come to what LEGO themselves have, sort of positioned as the central narrative pillar of the modern multiverse. If Bionicle was the Primordial Foundation, Ninjago is the active nexus, right? Especially with that game-changing merge event. How did Ninjago achieve this central role?
Well, Ninjago's incredible longevity and adaptability, first off. Its proven ability to sustain an audience and evolve its storytelling over, more than a decade now. That made it the ideal candidate for this central role. It allowed it to become the gravitational center, you could say, of a much larger, unified narrative. It's kind of primed for this.
Fascinating. So tell us about the creation myth of the Ninjago universe itself. How did it all begin there? Okay, the origins of the Ninjago universe are rooted in this foundational conflict between two primordial forces. The Oni, who are beings of destruction, and the dragons, beings of creation. Yin and yang, basically. The first Spinjitzu master was the unique child of both, possessing both powers, creation, and destruction. Fleeing their endless war, he arrived in a new, empty world and used the 4 golden weapons of Spinjitzu to create the realm of Ninjago. But critically, his actions also established a cosmology of 16 realms. These are parallel dimensions. They included not only Ninjago and its opposite, the underworld, but also places like the Never Realm, and most importantly for our later discussion, the realm of Chima.
Right, so this multiversal structure wasn't just a sudden invention for the merge. The seeds for multiversal connection were there from Ninjago's very beginning. That makes the later merge event feel more like a destiny fulfilled, doesn't it? A natural evolution of its own cosmology, rather than just some arbitrary narrative twist pulled out of nowhere. That really strengthens Ninjago's role as the central pillar.
Exactly. Yeah, this deep internal foundational mythology for Ninjago is absolutely essential for it to effectively serve as that central pillar for the entire LEGO multiverse. It had the internal logic baked in to support such an expansion right from day one.
So the core narrative of Ninjago follows this team of young Ninja Kai, Jay, Cole, Zane, Lloyd, and Naya as they are trained by the first Spinjitzu master's son, Sensei Wu, to protect their world from a whole bunch of threats. This story has unfolded over 2 main eras, right? Each with its own distinct flavor. Let's start with the Masters of Spinjitzu era, which ran from 2011 to 2019.
Right. This initial long run detailed the formation of the team and the fulfillment of the Green Ninja prophecy, where Lloyd Garmadon, son of the evil Lord Garmadon, is destined to defeat the ultimate evil, the Overlord. This era was incredibly dense with story. Major arcs included the rise of the Serpentine tribes, that final battle with the Overlord, the Tournament of Elements hosted by the treacherous Master Chen, the Ghost Invasion led by Moro, the Sky Pirate saga of Nauticon the Jinn, the temporal conflict with the Hands of Time, and that epic trilogy involving the Sons of Garmadon, the dragon-hunting realm of the Oni and the Dragon, and finally the invasion of the Oni themselves. It was a sprawling, action-packed saga that really solidified the team's identity and the world's stakes.
Wow, that's a lot of ground covered in just 8 years, seriously. Then, from 2019 to 2022 came the Wild Brain era. What shifted during this period?
Well, there was a change in animation studio and a shift to a shorter 11-minute episode format. So the series continued with new adventures, adapting to this new production style. These arcs included the introduction of Forbidden Spinjitzu and the Ice Emperor in the Never Realm, the ninjas getting trapped in the Prime Empire video game. Their journey into the dungeons of Shintaro and Master of the Mountain, the underwater conflict of Seabound. And the climactic finale crystallized, where the Overlord returns with a council of the ninja's past villains, bringing the original series to a close. This extensive history across multiple animation styles and narrative structures, it really showcases Ninjago's incredible adaptability. And its ability to sustain an audience for over a decade proved its durability as the perfect choice to anchor the wider multiverse. It truly highlights LEGO's successful pivot to long-form episodic storytelling.
It really demonstrates the enduring popularity and narrative depth of Ninjago. Explains precisely why it was chosen to be the central pillar of the entire LEGO multiverse. It clearly had the proven track record to carry that kind of responsibility. And then the game changer. The single most consequential event, probably, in unified LEGO lore. The Merge. The sequel series, Ninjago. Dragons Rising, which began in 2023 and is ongoing, starts with this cosmic cataclysm. What exactly is the Merge and what are its implications?
The Merge is, well, it's presented as an unexplained cosmic cataclysm. It violently fuses the 16 realms, all those parallel dimensions established way back in Ninjago's creation myth, into a single, unstable new world.
Yeah.
This event canonically integrates previously separate themes. Most notably, it brings the animal tribes from the realm of Chima directly into the world of Ninjago, where they now interact with the ninja. That's huge. The series follows the original ninja team, who are now scattered across this chaotic new merged world. They're mentoring a new generation of heroes, Urin and Sora, trying to understand and stabilize their merged reality.
So the Merge isn't just a plot device. It's a strategic realignment of the entire LEGO narrative universe. You said it earlier. It fundamentally alters LEGO's model by retroactively folding all of LEGO's original IPs into Ninjago's narrative orbit, which allows for a richer, more diverse story world where characters, technologies, locations from retired themes can be reintroduced. Creates a truly cohesive and synergistic brand universe with Ninjago right at its core.
Exactly. Yeah, and this raises an important question for the future, doesn't it? How will this grand narrative consolidation influence future IP development for LEGO? It's kind of a blueprint for a completely new way of storytelling for them. Opens up endless new possibilities for interconnected stories, and crucially, it brings beloved past themes back into relevance. It's that ultimate aha moment that solidifies LEGO's long-term vision for a unified universe.
It's a brilliant move, really, a true consolidation. And just like Bionicle, the existence of a complete Ninjago canon list with a meticulously documented chronological order of media, again, it just reinforces the depth and strategic importance of this central pillar.
Right. This level of meticulous documentation highlights the robust and sustained nature of the Ninjago narrative, which is absolutely essential for it to effectively serve as that gravitational center for the broader multiverse. It needs to be strong enough to absorb and integrate all these diverse story elements without losing its own coherence.
Okay, so before the Merge actually brought everything together under Ninjago's umbrella, LEGO developed several other large-scale, story-driven themes. These were known as the Big Bang themes, designed as self-contained universes with their own extensive lore, characters, media tie-ins. And now we understand them to be some of those very 16 realms that eventually fused with Ninjago. Can you tell us about these ambitious projects?
Yeah, these themes were really crucial in LEGO's journey towards mastering long-form, complex storytelling. They were ambitious tests, really, seeing how far they could push their own original intellectual properties, experimenting with different genres, different narrative structures before the grand unification strategy kicked in.
Exactly. And one of the earliest examples was Exoforce, which ran from 2006 to 2008. As LEGO's first attempt at a Big Bang theme, Exoforce was heavily inspired by Japanese anime and manga, right? What was its core premise?
The story is set on Sentai Mountain, this peak bisected by a deep chasm. For years, humans mined energy crystals on one side, unknowingly powering a civilization of sentient robots living on the other side. When the robots cross the chasm to reclaim their power source, a devastating war breaks out, fought with these massive pilotable mechs, very anime. This theme really showcases LEGO's early experimentation with deep, serialized storytelling beyond their more traditional play patterns. It laid crucial groundwork for future narrative successes like Ninjago. It's an important historical marker in their evolving approach to world building. Shows a willingness early on to delve into rich, character-driven conflict.
It shows that LEGO was building deep, story-driven worlds with complex conflicts long before they were explicitly connected. Demonstrates those early narrative ambitions, sets the stage for bigger things. You can almost see the gears turning in their design studios, even back then. Okay, then we had Legends of Chima, which ran from 2013 to 2015. The realm of Chima is this vibrant fantasy world inhabited by various tribes of anthropomorphic animals: lions, crocodiles, eagles, wolves, gorillas, ravens. The list goes on. What drives the conflict in Chima?
The central conflict revolves around CHI. It's this mystical energy source flowing from Mount Kavora, which grants immense power. The story, told across a 3-season television series and accompanying books and comics, follows the breakdown of friendship between Laval of the Lion Tribe and Krager of the Crocodile Tribe. It's an event that tragically plunges the whole realm of Chima into civil war.
And the TV series really fleshed this out, didn't it? Gave it depth.
It really did. Season 1, Power of the Chi, detailed that initial conflict between the lions and crocodiles, which was manipulated by Krager's cunning sister, Crueler, and it brought in the wolf and raven tribes too. Season 2, Quest for the Legend Beasts, saw the heroes venturing into the dangerous outlands. This arc wasn't just about battles. It deepened the lore around Chima's ancient protectors and the profound impact of the CHI energy. They had to awaken these mythical legend beasts, the only beings powerful enough to restore the flow of CHI to Mount Kavora. And then in Season 3, Legend of the Fire Chi, an ancient threat emerged. The hunter tribes, saber-toothed tigers, mammoths, and vultures were thawed from their icy prison. This required the heroes to ally with the ancient Phoenix tribe to unlock the even more powerful Fire CHI.
Chima's strong focus on those unique animal tribes and that clear, mystical energy source in CHI, it made it a really distinct and popular world. And its eventual integration into Ninjago via the merge, well, it retroactively gives its civil war and quests even greater significance within the larger unified multiverse, doesn't it? It's no longer just a standalone story, but a foundational component of a greater whole. Makes you wonder what other Chima characters might pop up in Ninjago next.
That's the beauty of the merge, isn't it? This theme now serves as a prime example of a Big Bang world directly interacting with Ninjago post-merge, making its history crucial for understanding the new merged reality and what unique elements it contributes to that expanded universe.
Okay, moving on, we have Nexo Knights, which ran from 2016 to 2018. This theme was set in the futuristic, high-tech medieval kingdom of Nighton. It truly blended classic castle tropes with science fiction. How did they pull off that genre mashup?
Right, this story followed 5 newly graduated knights: the steadfast leader, Clay Morrington, the carefree Lance Richmond, the thrill-seeking Aaron Fox, the gentle giant Axel, and Princess Macy Halbert. A classic team setup. They were guided by the digital wizard Murloc 2.0, literally a hologram, and they defended the kingdom from the court jester Jestro, who had been corrupted by the sentient and malevolent Book of Monsters. The knights fought using advanced vehicles, mechs, and these downloadable Nexo powers, special digital abilities they could acquire through a connected smartphone app, which mirrored the play experience. Very meta.
Talking about blending genres, Nexo Knights really cranked that up. Medieval knights fighting with digital magic and futuristic mechs. I always imagined my own castle sets getting an upgrade after seeing that stuff. It was wild ride, chronicled across a 4-season television series. Sodom battle Jestra's lava monster army, then the rise of the stone monster army led by the resurrected necromancer Monstrox, who is now a sentient cloud of dark energy, which is wild, and a final conflict against digital cyberbiters.
The innovative blend of traditional fantasy and advanced technology in Nexo Knights was quite bold for LEGO at the time, showcased their willingness to push creative boundaries. And this kind of genre bending, it was crucial, I think, in preparing their design teams for the stylistic fusions that would eventually characterize the merge. It demonstrated their capacity to combine wildly different elements into a coherent whole. This really highlights LEGO's continuous innovation in storytelling, how different themes explore unique, genre-defying combinations, contributing diverse elements to the wider multiverse, enriching its overall texture.
And finally, in this section of standalone realms, we have Monkey Kid, launched in 2020 and still ongoing. This theme is based on the revered 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West, but it reimagines the legend in a modern, futuristic setting. How did LEGO approach this, given its rich cultural origins?
Well, this theme was developed in close collaboration with children and parents in China to ensure cultural authenticity. That was a key goal. It marked a significant strategic initiative by the LEGO Group. The story follows MK, or Monkey Kid, a young noodle delivery boy who stumbles upon the legendary staff of the Monkey King, Sun Wukong, and is chosen as his successor. MK and his friends, Mei, Pigsy, Sandy, and Tang, must battle a host of demons from the classic novel who have returned to conquer the modern world, including the formidable Demon Bull King and his family, the insidious Spider Queen, and the incredibly powerful Ladybone Demon. This theme, it represents a significant strategic initiative, like I said, demonstrating a commitment to cultural authenticity and global storytelling. Its deep roots in classic literature bring a different kind of cultural richness to the multiverse, and its modern futuristic setting further broadens the stylistic scope of the merged realms, offers new narrative possibilities that blend ancient myth with cutting-edge design.
It's fantastic to see LEGO's global reach and commitment to diverse, rich storytelling, drawing from established cultural narratives while still innovating within its own unique framework. It makes the entire multiverse feel even more expansive and interesting. Okay, now we ascend to the highest narrative plane, you could say, the ultimate explanations for why this multiverse even exists and how it's all connected. We're talking about the meta-narratives of the LEGO Movie and LEGO Dimensions. So what does this all mean for the big picture? How does it all tie together?
Right. These two properties, the movie and the game, they provide the essential frameworks that not only unify all the disparate LEGO worlds we've discussed, but also offer these profound insights into the very nature of creative play that underpins the entire LEGO brand. They are the why and the how on a truly cosmic or maybe metacosmic scale.
So, the LEGO Movie, released back in 2014, it tells the story of Emmett Brakowski, right? An ordinary, rule-following construction worker in Bricksburg. His world is governed by the meticulous instructions of President Business, who is secretly the evil Lord Business. Emmett's life is totally upended when he stumbles upon the piece of resistance, identifying him as the Special, a master builder destined to save the universe. Save it from Lord Business, who plans to use a super weapon called the Kraggle to permanently glue the LEGO world into perfect, unchangeable order. No more creativity. He joins this band of rogue master builders, including the Fierce Wildstyle and, of course, LEGO Batman.
And this is where the meta-narrative really shines. The film's climax delivers that profound reveal, the entire adventure. It's the product of the imagination of a young boy named Finn, playing with his fathers known only as the Man Upstairs, elaborate LEGO collection down in their basement. Lord Business is the LEGO alter ego of Finn's father, who's this rigid perfectionist, forbidding any deviation from instruction manuals. Total control freak. The Kraggle is revealed to be just a tube of crazy glue with the label partially rubbed off, and the piece of resistance, it's the cap for the glue tube. The conflict is resolved not through some epic LEGO battle, but when Finn's father sees the creativity and joy in his son's stories and decides to finally play with him to loosen up.
That reveal provides the profound philosophical foundation for the entire LEGO multiverse, doesn't it? It posits that all of its worlds and stories are manifestations of human creativity and the act of play itself. It is the ultimate external why for the multiverse, the power of imagination made real. An incredibly powerful message about the nature of play itself and maybe about the role of the creator in any universe. This connects the entire LEGO universe back to the very act of playing and creating. Makes it incredibly relatable and inspiring. It's that ultimate aha moment that recontextualizes all the LEGO stories you've ever encountered, from Bionicle to Ninjago, everything. Okay, now, if the LEGO Movie told us why these worlds exist because of play and imagination, then LEGO Dimensions, the 2015 Toys to Life video game, showed us how they can physically interact. With actual dimensional portals and cosmic artifacts, this game provides the definitive in-universe confirmation of the multiverse. What's the core conflict here?
Right, so the game's central antagonist is Lord Vortek. He exists on this planet called Foundation Prime, situated at the very center of the LEGO multiverse. His goal is to unite all dimensions into a single reality under his control. He plans to do this by collecting 12 Foundation elements, these iconic objects like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings, the DeLorean time machine, kryptonite, stuff like that were scattered across the dimensions long ago. Vortek's scheme creates these dimensional vortexes that start pulling characters from over 30 different franchises into the conflict. It's chaos. When Robin, Frodo Baggins, and Metalbeard from the LEGO Movie get captured, their respective guardians, Batman, Gandalf, and Wildstyle, are drawn together onto this nexus world called Vorten. This trio becomes the player's primary heroes. They travel through the dimensions of DC Comics, the Lord of the Rings, the LEGO Movie, Doctor Who, Back to the Future, The Simpsons, and original LEGO themes like Ninjago and Chima, all to stop Vortek's plan.
Ah, okay, so the LEGO Movie gave us the philosophical explanation, the external why, and LEGO Dimensions provided the narrative mechanics, the internal how for the multiverse. That's a perfect pairing.
Indeed. Yeah, these two properties offer these really complementary frameworks. The LEGO Movie provides the philosophical origin, a universe born from play and imagination. LEGO Dimensions provides the narrative mechanics confirming the multiverse as a concrete, canonical reality within the fiction, with established rules, dimensional portals, and a cosmic structure that allows for interaction and crossover between all these different worlds. Together, they create this robust and incredibly flexible foundation for infinite storytelling possibilities. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is really a masterclass in establishing a fictional cosmology that can contain almost any story, whether it's an original LEGO IP or a licensed property like Batman or Doctor Who. This reveals the official, canonical way LEGO connects all its disparate worlds, licensed properties, or original IPs within one grand cosmic tapestry, proving the vastness of its potential. It's the ultimate confirmation that everything truly can be awesome and connected.
What an incredible journey we've taken today. Seriously. From the 100,000-year cosmic history of Bionicle to the hidden Earth-centric adventures of the connected universe, the unifying power of Ninjago, and those profound meta-narratives of the LEGO Movie and LEGO Dimensions. This deep dive has truly revealed a remarkable narrative ambition, transforming what looked like a collection of disparate franchises into a single, cohesive story world that continues to evolve and surprise us.
It's truly a testament to how they have blended. The LEGO Group's approach to storytelling itself has evolved over time. We've seen it move from creating those singular, sprawling epics like Bionicle to a period of experimentation with the Big Bang themes, ultimately finding a new center of gravity in Ninjago, which then led to a truly unified multiverse through that strategic merge event, retroactively giving new relevance and depth to pretty much every original theme in their history. It's quite something.
And what's truly unique about this entire enterprise, I think, is that symbiotic relationship we touched on earlier between the official LEGO creators and its incredibly engaged fan base. Concepts like the connected universe. They were often born from fans meticulously documenting subtle clues, piecing together the story sometimes before it was officially acknowledged. And these exhaustive community projects have created definitive resources and reading orders for sagas like Bionicle and Ninjago. It's amazing dedication.
Absolutely. This dynamic interplay, where fan scholarship and official storytelling kind of inform and enrich one another. It has created a truly collaborative narrative ecosystem. The LEGO Multiverse isn't merely a product sold to consumers. It feels like a world co-authored by its creators and its most passionate inhabitants, ensuring its legacy is one of the most intricate and enduring examples of world building in modern popular culture. Your engagement, your theories, your meticulous documentation out there, it literally contributes to and shapes the lore over time.
So what does this intricate, co-authored multiverse, born from play and cemented by cosmic cataclysms, what does it tell us about the very nature of storytelling itself? What might the next merge or meta-narrative reveal about the boundless power of our own imagination when we pick up those bricks?
It raises an important question, I think. In a world just flooded with information, maybe the most compelling and enduring narratives are those that actively invite us, the audience, to become co-creators, to seek out the hidden connections, to debate the canon, and to contribute to their ever-expanding intricate lore. So keep building and keep diving deep.